Tell me if this if this works.
Family Part 2. There was a problem while playing playback. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Play. Oh. I see me.
Are we live on the internet?
Vaguely disturbing. I think so.
Are we?
I wave. Do I wave back? Yeah, I'm waving back.
Hang on, I've just got to get chat back. Oh, trauma. Done. There's chat.
We're back.
We've got chat back. We've got Maz and McBob back. We've got me back. Now all we need really is an audience.
Yeah.
Let's close that and close that whilst hopefully people have stuck around and stuck with it. We'll soon see.
Well, I know Stu Plum and Kaz were asking what's going on, so hopefully they were waiting with bated breath.
Finding out what is going to happen with this episode.
Keeping people on tender hooks.
That's right. I'm going to find... It's just giving Karen a chance to drink her tea. Can I remember?
We've had 4 questions. How many more?
Can you remember where we were at?
Well, I think we just had the 4th question, didn't we? I was just saying
Roquette
the
Blood Pie. Yeah, so we're just starting what? We're just starting Act 4.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
Smiler's there. Hi,
Hey,
Smiler.
we're back. We are back. We have one viewer. Apologies about that. I did have some technical issues. I think this time, the culprit was Streamlabs OBS. Streamlabs OBS crashed, and then I think maybe there was a blip in the internet, caused Streamlabs OBS to crash, and then no matter what I did, it would not reconnect the stream. So after a number of tries, I decided to reboot the computer. If in doubt, switch it off and switch it back on again. So that's what we did. Switched it off, switched it back on again. And we're back.
Yay.
Yes, so if I just share my screen. Oh, I'm sharing the screen, aren't I, for this one? There we go. There's the little holographic chip thing to go in the holodeck. You can even read on it. Difficult to see in that picture, but it does say that it's for, I think it says it's for Wesley Crusher, and it has the date that it was recorded, and which shows it was the day Wesley was born.
Ah, that's sweet. Although there's a little bit of an odd thing. Let me just find it, because it's got the dates. So Wesley Crusher was born in 2348, and his father died in 2353, when Wesley was 5. And it's just the way Beverly says he recorded this when he was born. He was going to do so many more, but he never got the chance, as if to say, oh, he died and he never got the chance. But actually, he must have just never got the chance again to do it, because he was too busy for 5 years.
He was too busy in the next 5 years, so couldn't be asked.
Yeah. I just found that quite funny. Stu Plum's back.
Yay! Okay, we have a viewer.
Yay.
I'm happy. I'll proceed. Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that. We're on to Act 4. Beverly gives Wesley the message from Jack. We can see it pictured here. She tells him his father wanted to say some things to him and that he wanted to make sure that he didn't forget it. Wesley takes it and goes off to the holodeck. Oh, why are you going over there? Go over there. Oh, what have I done?
Well, that chair has been seen many a time. We know that,
It's been seen
obviously.
many a time, yes.
Many a time. In peak performance, reunion, redemption, new ground, cost of living, a fistful of days, birthright part 1, parallels, Genesis, firstborn.
Wow.
There
What am I,
Just
chopped
in
liver,
case you
says
really
Smiler
wanted
Rainbow.
to know.
What am I here? What am I?
Yeah, but you're actually part of the show staff. You're not just a
Yeah.
viewer. You're a moderator.
Mm.
Yeah, bless. Bless you, bless. We've got
Bless.
5 people now.
Yeah. Hey, we got 5. All right, we're getting some people back.
Yeah.
So yes, we're in Worf's quarters. His parents come to see him.
I do quite like the look of that chair, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be really comfortable if it's got like the knobbly bits in the right place to give your back a rub.
Yeah, you could sort of move yourself about in it.
Yeah.
You know?
It'd be like having one of those foam rollers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so we're in Worf's quarters. The parents come to see him. Worf admits that at first he wasn't sure he wanted them to come on board the Enterprise. But now he's glad about their visit. They tell him that they come after reading the letter about his discommendation. Hey, Karen found us. Yes, sorry, Karen.
Mickey's back, Sean's back, Karen's back, and Steve's
technical
back.
technical difficulties.
Yep.
We got everybody back. Yay, that's good news. It's good news. I think it's just YouTube trying to turn us off. Our big video on this channel has been ratioed, I think, by YouTube, and we'll talk about a bit of conspiracy theory. We'll talk a bit about that on Friday. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that's so. Yes,
Sean likes that chair as well. He's like,
It's
I just
cool.
like to. Who would have a chair like that and think this is how I sit watching TV? I think that would be cool, though.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to watch TV from a phone like that, especially Star Trek.
Yeah. So yeah, they say they come after reading his letter about his discommendation, that regardless of whether or not they understood it at all, they know what kind of man Worf is. Elena tells him that whatever he did it, I'm sure it was for a good reason. Worf said he must bear his dishonor alone. Sergei says that is not true. Elena apologizes that what she says about to say is too human, but no matter what Worf is suffering, his parents are there for him, that they are proud of him, and that they love him. No matter what. Worf is their son. He reaches out for them and takes their hand. It's a very cute scene with Worf and his parents. But question number 5. Oh yes, we've got 2 more questions. So we're coming into the big points. So anybody could still win it. When they enter Worf's quarters, Worf is doing what in his black bobbly chair? So the most accurate description of what Worf is doing in his chair when they enter his quarters will get you the full points. Have at it. Nothing rude. I'll Smiler Rainbow the wrench will whisk your comments away. She has
She
the
says,
power.
"Ooh, or misses."
Ooh,
So
or
I
misses.
think she's thinking rude things as well.
Yeah. Oh, I've just got to get myself some blood wine, some Roqueg blood wine.
Nice. There was right at the beginning apparently a boom mic visible 4 minutes in when Councillor Troy was talking to Picard. I must admit I didn't specifically check whether or not they've taken that in editing.
I haven't seen that. Let's have a quick look, see if we can. Was that was this scene? Don't see a boom
Yes,
mic
that's
there.
this scene. Yeah, it's just towards the end. It's visible at like the bottom of a screen or something. But yeah.
There is something from that scene though, that you can see the grey carpet in the background in Picard's quarters with the Starfleet or the Federation of Planets logo on it. That carpet was originally made for conspiracy. You can see it on the hallway here. So it was made for the episode Conspiracy, but then later on appeared in his room in Where Silence Has Lease, and that's where it lived from then on.
Cool.
Yeah. So, whilst answers are coming in to what Worf could have possibly been doing on his chair, we shall carry on with the act. Okay, sorry.
I was just going to say the other thing that I forgot to mention earlier was Riker's back to being a commander again. So, whilst not mentioned, he seems to have renounced his field commission of captain, perhaps so that he could stay on the Enterprise.
I guess. It's possible to have multiple captains if you've earned the rank. But, in Star Trek 6...
He still had all of his pips towards the end of the last episode when Picard was back, but now he's lost one again. So
he's been demoted.
Yeah, that's a way to congratulate somebody for a job well done.
Okay, apologise for the wordings, the amount of words I'm about to say that's going to come out of my face hole, but here we go. Back in the Chateau, Picard... back in the Chateau Picard, Jean-Luc has been drinking and thinking about Louis' offer when Robert comes in. Robert asks him if it's true that Synthahol never leaves a person out of control, and then remarks, the real thing will. So be careful with that stuff. And it says, seeing the gallant captain out of control is something he'd like to see. He then asks Jean-Luc what happened to him, up there. Jean-Luc asks if this is brotherly concern, but Robert says no, it's just pure curiosity. Jean-Luc says he knows what happened. Robert says he gathered that Jean-Luc was injured, that he could use a little humiliation, or humility at least. Either would do. Jean-Luc gets up and walks outside, but Robert follows him and asks him why he's walking away. That's not his style. Jean-Luc says he's tired of fighting with his brother. Robert tells him that the great Captain Picard falling to Earth just to plunge into the water with Louis isn't the brother he remembers. Robert calls him a returning hero, which Jean-Luc denies, but Robert insists that he wouldn't settle for anything less. Jean-Luc asks him if he were always so jealous, and Robert says, yes, damn it. He was jealous, and for good reason, watching Jean-Luc receive all the cheers, break all his father's rules, and always get away with it. When Jean-Luc asked Robert why Robert didn't do this also, he says because he was the older brother, and therefore he had to be responsible. He had to be someone to look up to. He had to look after Jean-Luc. But Jean-Luc calls Robert a bully. To which Robert replies that sometimes he was, and sometimes he even enjoyed it. Robert, though thoroughly enraged, asked Jean-Luc if the real reason he returned to Earth was because he wanted Robert to look after him. Look after him one more time. The question's the last straw for Picard, though, who angrily punches Robert in the face, bowling him over a group of caskets, tackling him into the vineyard. However, after some minutes of shoving and wrestling in the mud, both brothers seem to forget about being angry and end up laughing heartily. Remembering their childhood, Jean-Luc laughs that Robert was asking for it, but Robert says that Jean-Luc needed it because he was terribly hard on himself. Jean-Luc finally begins to emotionally break down and tells Robert, who just quietly listens, that he didn't see what the Borg did to him, how they took away his humanity and used him to kill and destroy, and he could not stop them. Crying, Jean-Luc admits his guilt in that while he tried very hard, he feels he should have been able to do more to resist them. He should have been able to stop the Borg from using him, but he wasn't strong enough or good enough. Robert gently observes that his brother is a normal, regular human after all, and tells Jean-Luc this is going to be with him for a very long time, and he's got to learn to live with it. He questions where Is it going to be under the sea with Louis or above the clouds with the Enterprise? They pull each other up, and Jean-Luc tells Robert that he thinks he did come home so his brother could help him. And with their arms around each other, Robert tells Jean-Luc he still doesn't like him. But it's followed with some light chuckles. And that was the end of Act 4. I had to tell that scene entirely. I know it's a bit wordy, but...
Yeah, there was a few bits of miscontinuity there. There was like the rag. It was picked up, and then they're walking and fighting, the rag's gone, then they're sat on the ground, it appears again. Or the mud kept sort of changing positions
and different takes.
So.
Yeah.
Those kinds of little errors.
So, going back to question 5 then, what did Worf do on his black chair as his parents walked into his room?
2 people have said massage, one says meditating, and one says looking in the mirror and playing with his beard.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, I was going to say something rude. He was looking in the mirror, but he was playing with his hair. I think because his parents mentioned earlier on that his hair has grown out and was getting long. So he was sat on his chair, staring into the mirror, playing with his hair, looking at the length of it. But I will take beard. It was because you could have seen it as beard because he was holding hair. So I think Stu Plum gets the points on that one.
That was 100 points, was it?
That was 100 points. Yeah.
So Stu Plum has just snuck into the lead by 20 points with 180. Sean on 160, Kaz on 80, me on 60, Mickey on 20.
He just kept talking and one. Oh. Yes, he's trying to trick me again.
He is trying to trick you. There was something earlier.
Yeah.
Where he said, back in the academy, we would start every new stream with a song.
I know, yes. But yeah, I guess I was just monologuing in one incredibly long sentence and moving from one topic to the next. Just to interrupt it was quite dramatic. Oh dear. Act 5. The final act. We've done it. We finally managed to get here through broken streams and all. Marie finds muddy footprints through the house, leading her to the brothers, drinking and singing French songs together, having thrown quotes over their shoulders so they won't soil the chairs that they are sitting in. They tell her they fell down and kept falling down while trying to help each other up. But she realised that they'd been fighting, and she said, "What would your father say?" Jean-Luc says he'd probably send us to bed without any supper. Marie says at least they got it out of their systems. Jean-Luc agrees and says that he's going to cancel the meeting with Louis and that it's time for him to leave. He says the Enterprise will be ready to leave soon and he belongs on board. If he ever should doubt that again, he knows where to come.
They were singing Auprès de ma blonde, a song originating from captured French soldiers held in captivity by the English during the Napoleonic Wars. Rainbow Smiler points out that I think working out the knots is close, because of course I took working out the knots to mean in his muscles, but he could have meant working out the knots in his hair.
Oh, yes.
I didn't think about that.
I will give you a point.
A point?
Yes.
A single 1 point?
A point.
Ah, that's harsh.
Oh.
Half points at least, right?
But that's not what you meant.
I don't know if that's what he meant.
Oh,
no, you are not on 20 points, Mickey. You're on 21 points.
Oh, it's Mickey. Oh, no, I'll give him half points then. Sorry, I thought it was you.
I think it was Mickey. No, not me.
Oh.
Half points. You are now on 70 points, Mickey. There you go.
Yes. This is
Sean says that's not the usual holodeck, is it? It looks very small.
Yeah, it's holodeck 20.
Do they get smaller as the numbers get higher? A bit like in a cinema.
Yeah. That's what I say. It's the holodeck's
Those
down the
little
end.
screens that
down
are
the end
right
of the
down the
corridor.
end. May as well have stayed in your living room sort
Yeah.
of scene.
For no points whatsoever, what's wrong with this picture?
I could probably name a couple of things.
Oh.
What's with the ceiling? Shouldn't that also be a hologrid?
Oh, that's the top of the arch, I think.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's the
Yeah,
arch that
that's a
goes
good
around
point.
the door.
He's kind of missing like his white thing from underneath his jacket.
Yeah, they didn't have that in this era when he existed. They did away with the white tunic, like in yesterday's Enterprise. They did away with the belt as well. But he's got something else missing.
His comm badge.
His comm badge. Yes. Yep. And he does. As it flicks from this scene to another. I'll find it.
Yeah, because he does have a comm badge.
Yeah, goes from that and then looks at Wesley and then looks back at him and he has the TNG comm badge. So he's supposed to have a comm badge, but for some reason in that first scene he doesn't. He doesn't have it. Wesley's at the holodeck. Having loaded Jack's message in and walks inside, he sees an image of Jack projected in the centre of the holodeck. When Jack recorded this, Wesley was 10 weeks old. Jack says he wants Wesley to know what he was like when Wesley was born, saying that the person who makes this recording will be gone, replaced by an older, more experienced, and hopefully smarter man. But not this one. This one will be gone. Jack says that he knows nothing about being a dad and apologises for all the mistakes he will make through Wesley's life. He hopes that Wesley isn't too upset about him being gone as much as he was, being in Starfleet, but that's a part of wearing the uniform. He hopes that when Wesley gets this message, he'll understand and perhaps try a uniform on himself one day. Jack says he probably will end up being a doctor, though, like his mother. Jack says he can see himself and his entire family in Wesley, and he can feel Wesley is his son. That there is a connection between them, and then Jack will always be a part of him. He says that he will try to do better, explaining in the next message that he never could be bothered to make, and that he loves Wesley very much. It's a very sweet scene. But
it is, and you find out Wesley's middle name in this scene, Wesley Robert. Middle name Robert.
Mm-hmm.
And the Michael Piller said that this really hit home for him because apparently this was produced just after the birth of his daughter. And Sean's pointed out about the comm badge. It is a TNG type comm badge, which his uniform matches what they wore in Enterprise C. But if it's from the same sort of era, the comm badge should be based on like the movie sort of.
Yeah,
insignia.
maybe it's slightly later than C.
I guess it could be part of that transition of stuff.
Don't know when C was, because if this was what, I don't know, 20 years ago or 17 years ago. And I think Enterprise C was 25 years ago, so it's yeah.
Makes sense.
Now they change those comm badges like every few years by the looks of things, like millions of them. Question 6. The hologram fades just before Wesley can embrace him. And Wesley stands there and simply says what? So the hologram fades just as Wesley's about to embrace him. He simply can only say what? What is Wesley's last words in this scene?
Dunno.
Take a guess.
Bye.
Yeah, or Sean says on New Trek, where they seem to change uniforms every week, it seems. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, they do. It's like, one minute they decide it's going to be this, and then next it's completely different. It's like every other scene in Picard, they got a different uniform.
The guy who plays him in Family also reappears as Jack Crusher in Violations and Journey's End. Doug Wirt is his name.
Oh, nice. They keep it.
Hmm.
Okay, whilst answers are coming in, I will finish the thing. Meanwhile, at Le Bar, Jean-Luc prepares to leave, this time in uniform. Rather than the casual clothes he arrived in, Marie tells him to come back and to be careful. Jean-Luc says goodbye to Uncle Rene. Rene tells Jean-Luc he'll be leaving for his starship one day, probably to replace Picard. Jean-Luc says that when he gets older, he may change his mind, but he might change his mind. Robert gives Jean-Luc the wine they were drinking the night before. He tells Jean-Luc not to drink it all at once, and if possible, try not to drink it alone. Just before Jean-Luc leaves, he and Robert finally embrace, having done much to heal their wounds from the past. And Jean-Luc walks back down the road towards the village. On the Enterprise, as Worf walks with Zankos to the transporter room, Helena asks if they can send him something from home, and at first Worf says there's nothing he needs, but then changes his mind and asks for some rogue egg blood pie. She says it's been a while, but she can still remember how to make it. They meet Picard at the door, and Worf introduces his parents. Picard asks if they've had the full tour, so she says that because of the repairs, there were a few places that were missed. But Helena and Worf quickly push him into the transporter room. He tells Picard he has all the specs and diagrams at home as the door closes behind them. Picard smiles and continues on.
It was so sweet. He was such a fanboy of the Enterprise.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all with him on that if we were on the Enterprise. And back home, Rene's still outside, after dark, under a tree, dreaming of starships and adventures. Marie says he's been out there a long time, and Robert simply says to his wife that they should leave their son to continue to dream. As Rene sits staring at the stars, stars streak through the sky on its way out to space once again.
Is the Orion?
Yeah, the Orion.
I didn't even notice that when I was watching it on the film. It's just now film episode. It's just now I'm sat here watching it a static picture.
You can even see the Orion Nebula, the sword, which is the Orion Nebula blob there. Of course, it wouldn't be that big in real life, but no, it's pretty cool though.
Sean says, "Oh, here's one bottle of wine to be shared. I own a whole vineyard, but that's all you get."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, not a crate. We'll beam up a crate, for you and your officers. No, just one bottle.
And
thanks a bunch.
There's a bit of sort of future continuity stuff that says that bottle appears in Legacy, First Contact, as well as Nemesis, but with a different label. How do people know it's the same bottle? Surely it would be a different bottle.
Well, here's the label.
Right, so it's the same date and everything, I guess.
Yeah, same date. Chateau. That's why I call it Chateau Picard, but actually it's called Chateau Le Bar because it's in Le Bar.
Yeah.
It's the chateau on the edge of Le Bar, France.
Everybody calls it Chateau Picard, though, don't they?
Not yet. Not until later in TNG. But that's what they thought it was originally going to be called Chateau Le Bar. Even after they call it Chateau Picard, they still use this same bottle with a Chateau Le Bar label on it. There you go. Okay, so answers to question 6 then. Have we got some answers in?
We have bye, Dad, we done. Or wait, or bye, Dad, and until we meet again, old fellow, old chap.
Wesley say what? What? Yeah.
Sounds like a whole crap load of guesses to me.
It does, doesn't it? The
120 points not being scored by anyone.
the real answer was goodbye, Dad.
Ooh,
So
we had a bye, Dad.
we had a bye, Dad, which
Pretty
was
close.
2/3 of the answer,
And we had a bye and a dad.
and we had a bye and a dad. So I think third points for Maz for bye. So that's
Oh,
third of it. Third of the points for
Surprising.
Sean for Dad, and 2/3 of the points for bye, Dad. Work
Cool.
them apples out.
Worked out. So this episode's winner is Stuplum on 240 points, closely followed by Sean with 200 points. Shockingly, in third place is me with 100 points. Then Kaz next with 80, and Mickey on 70.
Wow, Mickey was in last place. That never happens.
No, did Mickey win last week?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. Oh, no, Stuplum won.
Oh no,
Firstly.
Stuplum won.
So that puts
Yeah,
Stuplum
taking
on
an
2.
early lead.
That puts Stuplum on 2 again already. He's streaking out in front. Been doing his
Sean
homework.
says there is a real Picard vineyard on Le Bar.
What is there?
I wonder when that was named. Surely it's got to be in honor of this, right? Anyway.
Well,
I
it's
just wanted
better
to
to
look
have
up.
loved and lost.
Never to have loved at all.
Yeah. Right, so live chat, put your scores out of 10 in
yeah.
chat, and you will become.
We need to do your
We'll
average.
do the average and put your score on the board as well. Family. Yeah, put your scores out of 10 in chat. And I'm going to put my score out of 10. Oh, do you know my wireless headset's running out of battery? It just beeped at me to say it's running out of battery. It's just another thing to go wrong.
It's a catalogue of issues.
It is
for you
a
today.
catalog. It is.
I don't think I had any remaining trivia. But there was one.
Oh,
Who was absent from this episode?
I know.
Go on, answer.
Data.
Yeah. And I think it's the only one of the whole series where he's absent.
The only
Is it
one
the
of the
entire
whole
series?
the entire series. This
It
is
says
the only
entire
episode.
series, so I'm guessing that means all seasons, right?
Yeah. No.
Doesn't mean entire series 4, surely.
I think there was that. No, there was one episode he wasn't in.
I'll
Wasn't
check that on IMDb later.
Right. Was.
And Stu Plum says Data. He's just going for more points, even though he's already won.
You've already won.
Eh,
I'm gonna plug this in because it's gonna die. Come on. Why isn't
that would be bad.
it not going in?
So nobody's putting any points yet. Come on, lovely peoples. We want your points so we can give an average.
Yes.
Points out of 10. Quick as you can.
Oh gosh, what have I done?
I don't know.
Stop it. Okay, there we go. Oh, the real Chateau Picard is in Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
And their official licensed Star Trek wine.
That's very
Okay,
cool.
right.
I've got to find some of that. I hope it's still made.
We need some of that.
We've got a 7 and an 8. Kaz and Mickey.
Okay, have you got your paddle ready?
I do have my paddle ready.
Shall I give a countdown?
If you want, yeah.
3, 2, 1. Wing. I thought I was going to give this like a 5.
Yeah, it was pretty enjoyable, wasn't it?
But I loved it. I thought it was great. Let us know, as well as the score, let us know what you thought in chat.
I mean,
the
for me,
episode.
7's a pretty, good score, right? It's like
Oh
it's
yeah,
not a bad score.
yeah. No, that's pretty good. I mean, I think 7, 8. I think that's about right.
And at the moment, we've got a 7 and an 8 in chat, which gives us an average of, well, it's 7.5. So
I am
don't know how
gonna
you round that up or
I am
down.
gonna round it. I'm gonna round it to a
Up.
whole. Well, if it's 7.5, yeah. If nobody else, if a Karen or a Mickey doesn't get their things in, it's going to be an 8.
So what's the episode next week then? Is it like
Almost
Measure
Human?
of a Man or Almost Human? Yeah.
I think it was that, wasn't it?
Datary thing.
Almost Human? Is that right? It was?
Sounds about right.
Suddenly Human.
Suddenly Human.
Suddenly
That's it.
Human.
Suddenly Human. Oh no, that's Seymour. Sorry. Little Shop of Horrors. Mickey says 7.
Mickey says 7. Oh, that's
Gonna
bringing
round it down to a 7.
That's going to bring it down to a 7. Trailer. Trek core. Suddenly Human. Blah. There we go.
Next.
Who wants to see the trailer?
Me.
Yeah, here we go.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation, a shocking secret torments an orphan child.
Injuries so severe they might be considered torture.
Only Captain Picard can protect him from a violent father.
If he is not aboard the Khmer in 5 minutes.
Threats could lead to war. Vengeance could end in tragedy. On the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Well, Picard's getting stabbed in the heart again. He can't help
I
himself.
thought the next one was all about Data.
No, that's it.
How wrong was I?
Yeah. It's another Picard being a father figure episode.
Cool. We'll look forward to that then. So our audience score is a 7.
Is it? Oh, because we've got 2 7s and an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, that's what we'll get. I'll go back. I just unshared, didn't I? And let's go back.
Ah, you unshared your Excel.
I did. Right. It's a 7. 7 from the audience. Well done, audience. I think you've got it about right again. I think the audience likes to just give it 1 under me because I'm just over enthusiastic.
That's fine. That means they generally agree with me. I'm not going to argue with that.
No, the audience is agreeing with you this week. So well done. You got the heartbeat of the audience right. Yeah.
Yeah, the next episode is Brothers.
Hey?
The next episode is Brothers. The one after that is Suddenly Human.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I thought the next
God.
episode was a Data episode. Sean said that's the one after Brothers, but I didn't know if he meant that's the one after Brothers, as in that's the one
Oh,
taken,
I
or
thought
whether
it
we
was
meant
Suddenly
that's the one after
Human
Brothers.
and then... Okay, ignore that last trailer.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I just like watching
Commander
trailers.
Data's out of control.
It's gone far enough, Data.
Lives are in danger.
We cannot even call for help.
He's being controlled by a mysterious scientist
This is why I've brought you here, Data.
and comes face to face with an evil brother. Deadly reunion on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, that's slightly more exciting.
So yeah, it was like Data's
Next
not in this
time
episode.
on
It
Star-
basically hogs the whole of the next episode.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and again, it's like the Picard series where it's about Data and about robots and about Sung and about Borg and about. It's like they watched these. It's about Chateau Picard. It's like they watched Best of Both Worlds,
Next
Family,
couple of episodes.
and Brothers, and was like, right, that's Next Generation. That's what it's all about. How do we continue from there? I know, we'll make this Picard series. We'll have the Borg in it. We'll have
Data
Sung
in
robots in it. We'll have Data in it.
We'll have Chateau Picard in
We'll
it.
have Chateau Picard in it. Yeah. I don't know why, when when he goes back in time and talks about his mum, that he doesn't mention Robert at all. I don't remember him mentioning his older brother. Where was his older brother in his whole, when his mum was suffering mentally and stuff? Maybe he was off at university or something.
Perhaps.
It was at wine school. I don't know.
A sommelier in training.
Yeah. Who knows? Right, I don't know if you noticed, but we've gone into another season now. I meant to say this at the beginning. We've moved into another season, and we've moved into another part of the Enterprise D.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're in 10 forward.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Feels right for us to be having a little tipple in 10 forward.
Yeah. We've gone from, I think we started off in engineering in season 1. We went to the bridge in season 2. We went to the transporter room in season 3. And now for season 4, we're in 10 forward. So that's the way that works.
Majran, Stuplum.
Majram. I didn't get a Klingon word. I was going to get a Klingon word today, and I didn't manage to get a Klingon word. We will have a Klingon
That's
word
right.
next week.
Maybe we'll have the Klingon word for brothers next week.
Yes. Thank you, Sean, for bringing the whole brothers thing to my attention. Yes. Sorry, I got that completely wrong.
He says the brothers forgive line at the end reminds me of the episode of Red Dwarf where Crichton is carrying a mechanoid and says he ain't heavy, he's my brother.
He ain't heavy. He's my brother.
You do a good Crichton impression. Is that why you mentioned it, Sean? Did you like Monty Bann's Crichton impression last week?
No, it's awful. It's awful.
I think it's good. That sounded just
Sir,
like him.
you're a total and utter smig.
Love it.
Okay, so that's it for this tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat, for sticking with us through our multiple streams, losing everything, getting everything back again. It was a bit like Crichton losing his blob. We had the stream. We got the stream going. We'd fallen in love with the stream, but then we lost the stream again. Stream found another stream, but eventually we got the stream back. And
It's that age-old story.
yeah, it's that age. How many times have we seen that story? Yeah, so we hope you join us next week for Brothers, Not Suddenly Human. If you have not had enough of me droning on, then feel free to come and join me on the other channel, on the Mountain channel, for Fortnite tomorrow, or back on this channel on Friday night for live tarot reading. And we've got loads of great news, lots of UFO news, some really interesting TikToks to pour over, lots to go through on Friday night. G and R are quite excited about Friday night. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. So if you're free Friday night, come for a beer and hang out with us in this channel. Hopefully the stream will hold it together. Yeah. And thank you, Maz, for sticking with it as well.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next Wednesday for the episode Not Suddenly Humans, but Brothers. Cheers.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.